Hi there, Phil here from the Drummers Weekly Groovecast. Spring has sprung here in Groovecast Studios. We hope that wherever you are listening, that you are having a similar warm-up. Happy Accountability Thursday. Happy May. Can't believe we've been doing this going into our 5th month. And once again, even though we're in a new month, we're going back to an old book. We're going back to our favorite, our standard, the NARD Solos book. And this week, we're going to be working on a new solo that's dedicated to a familiar name. We're going to be working on a solo entitled Assault and Battery, and it is dedicated to the great William F. Ludwig. And for those of you unfamiliar with him past the name Ludwig from Ludwig Drums, Mr. Ludwig was a tremendous rudimental drummer in himself and also quite the historian. His name's going to come up again regarding an interaction that I had with him some 25 plus years ago. Let's talk a little bit about the solo. If you look at the first half of this solo, there's really not a lot of explanation needed. The author of this solo is very particular about dictating the particular stickings and rudiments that he wants played. So not a whole lot of interpretation has to go into this. However, when we get to the second half of this solo, there are a few things that we need to talk about. First thing, you will notice that the second half opens up with a dotted quarter note roll. Now, I would like for you to interpret this roll as one of these 15-stroke rolls that we've talked about before in the past. We'd like to start it on the left and end it on the right. And you will also notice that that same 15-stroke dotted quarter note roll is going to happen 3 measures later. The stickings are going to work out perfectly, by the way, if you do start on the left and end on the right, because the author does dictate that he wants that very next measure on the downbeat of count 1 to start on the right. Make sure you spend a little bit of time refreshing your 15-stroke roll over that dotted quarter. Now, of course, you could interpret it as a 13-stroke roll, but in a lot of these old, ancient, rudimental solos, that 15-stroke roll just happens a lot over a dotted quarter. So it's my preference on this particular solo to go ahead and use the 15-stroke roll. About the only other thing that I want to mention is there is something that's just a tad bit tricky 3 measures from the end of the solo. There's a set of alternating drags that he dictates that he wants them played a particular way. But when you first go through this solo, it might feel like that they want to be started or be played using the opposite sticking. So just be aware of that. Make sure you use the sticking that the author dictates. We're about to give a listen to the performance of Assault and Battery. But before we do, make sure that you check the show notes for this episode. There you'll find a YouTube link where you can view the sheet music for this solo and also see a performance. Then, after you practice it, I want you to make sure that you make your own video and post it on your favorite form of social media and then tag our show in the description. Okay, let's give a listen to Assault and Battery. Okay, so the dog's out of the bag. I held a little bit back from you guys. It's apparent now that you are aware that the show mascot, Harvey the Schnauzer, has made his appearance once again. It's been quite a few episodes since he showed up, but he couldn't keep his yapper shut during my solo. I think he saw a squirrel out in the yard or something. But anyway, I mentioned earlier in the show that I was going to come back to a quick story about Mr. Ludwig. Back in the early 90s, I was privileged to be able to see him do a short clinic and demonstration regarding the history of drums and drumming. And it was at that particular clinic that I asked him, and he graciously demonstrated how to play that dotted quarter note 15-stroke roll. So I've got very good lineage when it comes to learning how to play that roll. It came right from one of the great sources of rudimental drumming. I'm proud to say that I was able to learn that from him. Okay, before we listen to one more performance of Assault and Battery, I just want to make sure that you guys stay in touch with us. If you need to get in touch with us, you can always go to our website. We are at drummersweeklygroovecast.com. Aside from being able to email us there, you can also interact with us on social media. All of our original social media outlets are still available. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and on Instagram. You can subscribe to all of those. Follow us on all those different modes of social media. You can also access every single one of our feature episodes on the website, as well as all of our Accountability Thursday mini episodes. Don't forget, you can also check out all of our videos. These videos for Accountability Thursday are on the website, as well as our host spotlight videos that John and I have posted. Also, I would like to ask that if you are an iTunes subscriber, or if you just have an iTunes account, the next time you log in, please go by the Drummers Weekly Groovecast homepage inside of iTunes and leave us a short written review. It really does us well. It allows other folks who are looking for drumming podcasts and music podcasts in general to find us and listen to us, and then they can be in on the great inside joke that is Drummers Weekly Groovecast. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this week. We'll leave you with another performance of Assault and Battery.